Welcome to Experiments in Happiness with Michelle Lemus, the podcast for high achieving women who've checked all the boxes but still feel something's missing.
Have you ever noticed this? Nothing is technically wrong. There's no crisis unfolding, no bad news in front of you, no emergency demanding your attention. And yet, your mind keeps scanning anyway, replaying a conversation you already had, reading into a tone that might not mean anything, imagining a problem that hasn't happened yet, looking for the next thing to worry about. It can feel confusing, especially if what you actually want is peace. You might even think, why can't I just enjoy this? Why am I still on edge? What is wrong with me? So let me say this clearly because it matters. Your brain isn't broken, it's just very good at its job. And unfortunately, that job includes loving drama. When I say drama, I don't mean chaos for chaos's sake. I don't mean yelling or conflict or explosive emotions. I mean emotional intensity, urgency, overanalysis, catastrophic thinking, high stakes storytelling about everyday moments. Drama is when your brain turns neutral information into a charged narrative. Drama is when a delayed text becomes a story. Drama is when quiet turns into suspicion. Drama is when calm feels wrong. And here's the part most people don't realize: drama keeps the nervous system activated. Activated feels familiar, and familiar feels safe even when it's uncomfortable. So the brain keeps going back. Your brain evolved to protect you, not relax you. Its job is to scan for threats, predict danger, prepare for worst case scenarios, keep you alert. In early human history, this was life saving. If you missed a threat, you died. So vigilance mattered. But in modern life, that same system doesn't know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a vague email, so it does what it knows how to do. It looks for problems. It fills in gaps. It creates urgency where there may be none. That's why your brain might turn uncertainty into anxiety, turn silence into meaning, turn peace into what am I missing? So when things are calm, the brain sometimes panics, not because something is wrong, but because calm doesn't give it a job. If you've lived in survival mode for a long time, peace can feel unfamiliar, even unsafe. You might notice restlessness when things are quiet, an urge to stir something up, a sense of boredom that feels wrong, guilt when you're not actively fixing something. That doesn't mean peace isn't right for you. It means your nervous system hasn't practiced it yet. And this is where a lot of women get stuck because they confuse peace with numbing out. They worry that choosing peace means avoiding real problems, ignoring important conversations, pretending things don't matter, becoming passive, detached. But peace is not avoidance. Peace is the ability to respond instead of react. Peace is choosing clarity over intensity, presence over projection, reality over imagined futures. Peace is not a personality trait, it's a skill. And like any skill, it feels awkward at first because drama feels familiar, drama feels active, drama feels like doing something, peace feels quiet, and quiet can feel like nothing is happening. But here's the reframe that changes everything: drama feels urgent, but it's rarely important. Peace feels subtle, but it's deeply powerful. Drama asks, what if something is wrong? Peace asks, what's actually happening right now? One fuels anxiety, the other builds trust. And you don't interrupt drama by arguing with your brain. That doesn't work. You interrupt it by grounding your nervous system because the brain loves stories. But the nervous system responds to sensation. That's where peace lives. So instead of trying to think your way out of drama, let's practice something much simpler. When emotional intensity starts rising, not when you're calm, but when you notice the spiral, pause and ask one gentle question: what is actually happening right now? Not what it means, not what it might lead to, just what's observable. Facts only. I sent a text and haven't heard back yet. I'm feeling tension in my chest. There is uncertainty. I don't have all the information. That's it. No story, no meaning, no future projection. Then ask one more question. What response would create the most peace for me in this moment? Not the most certainty, not the most control, not the most reassurance, the most peace. That response might be taking a breath, putting the phone down, going for a short walk, waiting before responding, choosing neutrality instead of escalation. At first, this can feel almost anticlimactic. Your brain might protest. This is boring. This doesn't solve anything. This isn't enough. But then something surprising happens. The body softens, the mind quiets, energy returns, the emotional hangover disappears, and you realize something important. Drama was costing you more than it was giving you. It was stealing your peace, your presence, your energy. Peace doesn't take your power away, it gives it back. And if your mind is always busy, always analyzing, always figuring things out, hear this. You're not dramatic. You're vigilant. Your brain learned intensity as protection. And peace is a skill you can build without losing yourself. You don't need to shut your mind off. You don't need to become passive. You don't need to be perfectly calm. You just need moments of choice, moments where you notice the story and choose reality instead. So we'll keep experimenting because happiness isn't found in solving imaginary problems. It's found in learning how to stay present when nothing is actually wrong. And that is one of the bravest things you can do.
Thanks for listening to Experiments in Happiness. You can find more tools and resources at experimentsinhappiness.com.